Hey everyone, how's it going today? Today we're going to be looking at a very challenging exercise, though it doesn't start so hard. It can kind of be adjusted to any level, which is something I love about it. And it's an exercise that I usually actually use in 4/4 time, standard bluegrass 2-feel time. But on a 3/4 time tune, or if you want to just practice in waltz time, this is a great exercise to incorporate. I call it the Disappearing Metronome because we are working with a flexible metronome. This is kind of important that you download this app if you have a phone that can download an app. If not, there's ways around it, and you can message me privately and we can talk about that if you want to look for alternative options. But there's an app called Time Guru, which I'll post below the video here today. And that app allows you to kind of structure your own metronome. So right now I have 6 quarter notes in a row. So that's 2 bars of 3/4 time at 160 beats per minute. Sounds like this. And that's where I recommend starting this exercise. So before the metronome starts disappearing, obviously, we're going to start playing along with, this is just 2 bars of 3/4. Each beat has a click on it, and it's 160 beats per minute, which is a pretty comfortable tempo for a waltz. And the goal is that we're just playing downbeats, right? So we're kind of like what I mentioned last week, and what we looked at was that Roy Huskey Jr. transcription, that first one I played, where just downbeats all the way, with a couple walk-ups here and there. But today we're just going to be playing downbeats. So really simple. Every 3 clicks, you play a note, and that's your downbeat of the waltz bar. So let me play along with this, and the goal is you're really trying to play it right in the center of the metronome. You want to be perfectly consistent with this. It's almost like you're playing in a band with it, So it feels like it's a person. You want to make it so relaxed that it feels like it could be a mandolin player or something playing with you. And that's really up to you to make it comfortable. The metronome will do what the metronome does, whether we like it or not. So we got to make it feel comfortable. So put it on, 6 quarter notes in a row at 160 beats per minute. And we're just rocking like this. G and D, just the open strings. It may take you a second to feel comfortable along with the metronome. Take as long as you need to practice with this setting, because the less clicks there are, the harder it is to stay aligned with the metronome. So spend some time with this if it's feeling uncomfortable, and just really work on playing right in time with those metronome clicks with a couple beats obviously not being played. And then from there, you can start making it disappear. So on this application, you can mute certain clicks. So beats 2 and 3 of each of those measures are getting muted. And then we just have our downbeats being heard. It sounds like this. So the goal here is to internally feel beats 2 and 3 of each measure. I think pretty much all great musicians, and especially great bass players, have a really great internal sense of timing. That means that they're feeling everything that's going on, right? Every beat that's happening is being felt. More likely than not, it's not being expressed on the instrument, right? We're kind of doing the grand, big gestures in the band. But we're definitely internally feeling the groove and every little minutia of the groove. So now we got to feel beats 2 and 3 instead of hear them, and play along. Really hear that in your head as you're playing, and make sure you stay right in the center of that click. And that one, it'll be different for everyone, right? Maybe the first setting might be really hard for some people. It might be easier for others. It's all good. Whatever your level is, you can adjust the exercise to your level. So maybe this second level is going to be hard for some of you. Maybe it's still going to be easy for some of you. Either way, you start at the beginning, get to this next level. If both are super easy and it feels comfortable, what do you think's next? We're going to take away one of these downbeat clicks. So measure 2, downbeat, goes away. Every 6 beats we hear a click. Now we have to internally feel beat 2. The downbeat of measure 2. You got to internally feel that. So let's see if I can do this. All right. At a certain point, this is going to be hard for me too. And I want to get there. I want to show you that this exercise is so good that it can trick me, and I'm a professional bass player, but it doesn't really matter when you're removing so many metronome clicks. It can be a great exercise for anyone. So that's the third one. You're just hearing one of these downbeats at 160. So it's you'll see a red note and then 5 rests after it. What happens after this? Now we're going to change the tempo. And by changing the tempo, we're actually going to cut everything in half. So instead of hearing a click every 2 measures, we're going to put 160 beats per minute down to 160 to 80 beats per minute, half of 160. And we're going to be hearing it every 4 measures instead. Oh, it's a little bit ahead. See, it's going to be hard for me, but I'm going to try it. I was a little bit ahead, so now I'm kind of laying back. So that's every 4 measures you're hearing a downbeat click. I'm not perfect on that one, I'll be honest. That's probably the one for me that I would gravitate towards really working on and making sure I'm staying consistent and internalizing all those rests. The last one I'll show you, maybe I'll do 2 more. So what you do now is you just keep dividing that in half, right? It's good to have an even number metronome so you can keep dividing this. We started at 160. That was 80. Then you go to 40, and you're getting it every 8 bars, I believe. Let's see if I can do this. Woo! Ahead on that one. All right, last one I'll do is 20 beats per minute. And everyone obviously by now understands the gist. You just keep getting less and less of the metronome and more you have to internalize the timing. If anyone feels comfortable getting a click every 16 bars at 20 beats per minute, I'll let you teach a class here on Patreon. You can do a week. This is not going to be easy for me. I'm going to give it a shot though. And I'll write all these in the description too, just a list. There's no notation for this week, obviously, but I'll make it clear in the description how this thing lays out. All right. So close. bad. Yeah, and this is a cool exercise. I think the reason I would suggest this, for the most part, is that you can actually work on your timing. If you're rushing on this, you know that you're a player that likes to kind of play ahead of the beat, and you got to work on leaning back. If you're dragging on this, that means opposite, right? You want to play a little bit more ahead. I tend to think of the goal as the bass player in the band to play right in the center of the beat, like with this metronome. So if you're hearing a tendency in your playing to either rush or drag, that's like an important thing to consider and work on. If it's kind of random, that probably means you're just getting acquainted with the metronome exercise, and maybe you're just having some trouble adjusting. You know, if you're really kind of rushing and dragging all the time, I'd say go back to the first, version of this with a click on every beat, and just reacquaint yourself with the feel of this metronome. And then from there, kind of work your way back up. So this is the Disappearing Metronome exercise in 3/4 time. It can be really frustrating. So just take it slow. Make sure you're feeling comfortable as you go through each of the levels, and have fun, y'all. I'll see you next week.